So Nikki asked the question, she says, my husband and I have had difficulty in the past discussing money matters. His solution has been to keep our financial affairs separate, but I'm concerned that we should be discussing retirement finances in a coordinated way. How do I approach this conversation in a way that will overcome some of the fears he may have of tensions around this topic? If you're keeping money separately, obviously there have been conflicts about money in the past. Duh. or wouldn't have been, or this wouldn't be happening. So what I would do is sit with him and talk to him about the finances, because, you know, it's always about love. And if you have things that you keep separate, it can't help but detract from the love that you have in your relationship. Has to. So if you were to sit with him and say, you know, I'd like to be more loving toward you in our relationship. And I know that one of the ways that you have not felt loved by me is that I'm not listening to you. I'm not hearing you very well about financial things. If you were hearing him, you wouldn't have this separation. So instead of telling him what you want or saying things like, we need to discuss finances, you tell him, I haven't been listening to you very well. Would you be willing to tell me the fears, concerns, and so on that you have about finances that I haven't heard from you in the past? Do you see how different this is? It's all about you saying, I haven't listened to you. Would you be willing to tell me, and I'll really listen to you? And then you don't argue with him. You don't say, but. You listen to him. So when he says things to you like, well, you've been irresponsible, or you've been stupid, or you go, you know, I really have been. You admit to whatever part of what he's saying is true. So let's say that he says, you've been stupid 55 times, and you know that it's only been 38 times. You see, we tend to argue, and we say, well, that's not as bad as you say. Well, I didn't do it every time. No, what he's trying to tell you is, I'm afraid because you do this. And so what you're going to tell him is, I really do that. You're not going to argue with him about the few times where you felt justified or the few times you were right. And if you'll really listen, he may finally tell you what's been concerning him. Because it really does bring more harmony into your marriage if you share everything, including finances. Does that make sense? And if you can be specific exactly about what has been bothering him or what you've argued about, that would help. But that at least gives you an idea of what you can talk about.